What happens when the person you take for granted finally decides they've had enough? This is the story of a woman who thought she held all the power right up until the game changed overnight. Welcome to my channel, Her Warning. You know, it all came down to these 7 little words. This one line, thrown away without a second thought, unknowingly sealed Vanessa's fate. It just perfectly captures the arrogance, the total dismissal that led to her downfall. She said it to a man who had finally reached his breaking point. So let's set the scene. It's 2:47 in the morning. Vanessa stumbles through the front door, drunk, careless, after what she calls a girls' night. But she's not coming home to an empty house. Oh no. Her husband, Mark, is waiting for her. He's just sitting there in the dark, and he sees everything. And this is where you see just how far apart their worlds were. For Vanessa, in her mind, it was all just harmless fun. But for Mark, well, the evidence was telling a very different story. The wrinkled dress, the smell of another man's cologne, and the final, undeniable proof: no underwear. Her excuses were falling apart before she even made them. So does she apologize? Does she show any remorse? Not a chance. Instead, she goes straight for the jugular, trying to flip the blame back on him. It's a cruel, cutting remark, designed to make him feel small. But this time, it backfires spectacularly. Mark just stands up, says nothing, and walks away. And that silence? That was the first move in a plan to completely erase himself from her life. So the next morning, Vanessa wakes up and the bed's empty. And her first reaction isn't worry. It's not concern. It's just annoyance. She actually scoffs, thinking Mark is giving her the silent treatment. She thinks it's some petty little game that she's going to win, easily. She has no idea the game is already over. But that annoyance starts to turn into real unease when she starts noticing the details. Okay, wait a minute. This wasn't some angry storm out. This was methodical. His keys are gone, wallet gone, his work phone gone. The car is missing. And that location tracker she liked to use to keep tabs on him, unavailable. He didn't just leave, he vanished. And you can literally watch her emotional state just spiral. Day 1 is all arrogance, sending these snarky texts that just go into the void. By day 2, unease is creeping in because his entire family has blocked her. The walls are starting to close in. And then by day 4, the cold, hard reality hits her like a ton of bricks. This isn't a tantrum. He is gone for good. But see, here's the thing you have to understand. Mark's plan was so much bigger than just leaving. He was systematically removing the entire support system that allowed her to act this way. He wasn't just ending a marriage, he was dismantling the whole world she had built on top of his patience. Her first major shock comes from the one person she was sure would take her side, Mark's mom. She drives over there expecting a shoulder to cry on, and instead, she gets this cold, hard truth spoken right through the screen door. The family she thought she had, they now saw her as the enemy. Okay, so plan B. She turns to her friends, expecting them to rally around her. But it turns out, Mark had been busy. In the group chat, instead of support, they start calling out her lies. And before she can even type a defense, they just leave the chat, one by one, leaving her totally alone. And then comes the final nail in the coffin, the public humiliation. Mark's sister posts the proof online for the whole world to see, a picture of her going into a hotel with another man. All those whispers at her job, they turn into open stares. She's not just a woman whose husband left. She's become a complete outcast. So with her back against the wall, out of options, Vanessa makes one last desperate move. She calls Mark's lawyer. She's ready to fight, ready to manipulate, ready to get back in control. But what she doesn't realize is she isn't walking into a negotiation. She's walking straight into a checkmate she never even saw coming. And there it is. The moment her entire world just shatters into a million pieces. With one casual little correction, ex-husband, the lawyer reveals the devastating truth. The game was over weeks ago, and she was the only one who didn't even know she was playing. With shaking hands, she finally opens her email. And there it is, sitting in her inbox, bold and unread. An email with a subject line that feels like a death sentence. The finality of it, the cold, business-like wording, it's honestly more brutal than any screaming match could ever be. The email lays it all out, just the brutal facts. The divorce wasn't just filed, it was already finalized. There was no going back. And attached? Oh yeah, the photographic proof. The truth that he knew everything, and he'd known for months. He'd quietly watched her, gathered his evidence, and completely dismantled her life, while she was out laughing without a care in the world. Just when she thinks it's all over, she gets a message. It's Mark. He wants to meet one last time. And this tiny flicker of hope just ignites inside her. She thinks, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe I can cry, I can apologize, use all my old tricks, and win him back. She agrees, already planning her emotional attack. But the man who walks into that cafe is not the man she remembers. Not even close. He isn't broken or sad. He's confident, calm, completely unreadable. The entire power dynamic has shifted. He doesn't look like a man she can win back. He looks like a man who has already won. He lets her try her excuses, her justifications about how everybody makes mistakes. And then he just quiets her with this one sentence. He totally dismantles her entire defense because he's telling her the cheating, that was just a symptom of a much, much deeper problem. And this is the fatal blow. It's not anger, it's not jealousy, it's indifference. And that cuts deeper than any accusation ever could. He didn't leave because of what she did, he left because of who she was. He had finally decided that her character simply wasn't worth the price of admission. So she plays her last card. The tears start flowing, the voice trembles, the desperate plea. It's a performance she has perfected over the years, one that always worked on the old Mark. She even reaches for his hand, fully expecting him to just melt. But he just pulls his hand away. He sees right through her act and delivers this final, devastating diagnosis of her character. He exposes the absolute core of their entire relationship. For her, it was never about love. It was always about power. And with that, he gets up and he walks away for the very last time. And in that moment, sitting all alone in that cafe, the full weight of it all just comes crashing down. She's lost her husband, her reputation, her friends, her power. And in that crushing silence, she finally understands she has absolutely no one to blame but the woman in the mirror. So this leaves us with a really tough question. Mark's plan was calculated. It was ruthless. He didn't just leave her, he systematically destroyed her world. So where do you draw the line between protecting yourself and just getting cruel revenge? Was what he did a necessary defense, or did he take it a step too far? What do you think about what Mark did? Was he justified? Let us know your take in the comments below. We read every single one. And if this cautionary tale gave you something to think about, please don't forget to like this explainer, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more right here on Her Warning.